Disclaimer: this content is for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. I never expected that night to turn into something I'd remember forever. It started like any other evening. I was home, winding down after a long day, scrolling through my phone, half listening to the soft hum of the TV in the background. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. My mom had left earlier for a weekend trip with her friends, and I figured I'd have the place to myself. But as the clock crept past midnight, something felt off. Then, out of nowhere, I heard it, a faint knock at my bedroom door. My heart skipped a beat. I wasn't expecting anyone. I sat up, trying to shake off the eerie feeling creeping over me. Maybe it was just my imagination, or the house settling. But then the knock came again, this time a little louder. "Hey, you still awake?" It was my stepfather's voice, low and hesitant. I wasn't sure why, but hearing him at my door that late sent a strange chill down my spine. He was usually asleep by now, never one to stay up past his usual routine. Something about his tone was different, almost nervous. I hesitated before answering. "Yeah, what's up?" There was a brief silence on the other side of the door, like he was choosing his words carefully. Then he finally said, "Can I come in for a second?" My mind raced. What could he possibly want at this hour? We had always been cordial, nothing more, nothing less. He'd been married to my mom for a few years now, and while we got along fine, we never had deep conversations. And yet, here he was, standing outside my door in the middle of the night, sounding unsettled. A thousand possibilities ran through my head. Was something wrong? Did something happen to my mom? Or was there something else he wasn't telling me? I took a deep breath and reached for the doorknob, my fingers hovering over the cool metal. My pulse quickened. Should I open the door? What do you think I should do? Drop a comment below and let me know. How would you react in this situation? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for part 2, where I reveal what happened next. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. I hesitated for a moment, my hand still hovering over the doorknob. Something about this whole situation felt strange, but at the same time, I couldn't ignore the uneasy tone in his voice. If something was wrong, I needed to know. Taking a deep breath, I finally turned the knob and opened the door just a crack. My stepfather stood there in the dim hallway, his face partly hidden in the shadows. His usual composed expression was gone. He looked tense, almost like he was struggling to find the right words. The soft glow from my bedside lamp barely reached him, but I could see that he was gripping something in his hands. My stomach tightened. "Can I come in for a second?" he asked again, his voice quieter this time. I stepped back slightly, leaving just enough space for him to enter. He walked in but didn't sit down. Instead, he stood near my desk, his fingers tapping lightly against whatever he was holding. That's when I finally noticed. It was his phone. His grip was tight, knuckles slightly pale, like he had just received some kind of shocking news. "Everything okay?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He let out a slow breath before finally looking up at me. "I didn't want to wake you, but I got a call from your mom." My heart skipped. "Is she okay?" Yeah, she's fine," he said quickly, but something in his voice told me there was more. His eyes darted toward the window, then back at me, like he was still piecing something together in his head. "But she told me something, and I don't know if I should even be saying this right now." Now my pulse was really racing. "Saying what?" He hesitated, rubbing a hand over his face. "It's about someone from your past." I frowned, confused. My past? What did that even mean? My mind instantly started going through possibilities. Old friends, distant relatives, maybe even my dad, though I hadn't spoken to him in years. "Who?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He exhaled, shaking his head. Look, I don't want to freak you out, but someone's been asking about you. Someone who shouldn't be. A cold chill ran down my spine. What are you talking about? Who? He glanced toward the door like he was debating whether to continue. And then, just as he opened his mouth to speak, his phone buzzed loudly in his hand. His eyes widened as he looked at the screen. His face paled. That's them, he muttered. I felt a lump form in my throat. Who? He looked up at me, his expression unreadable. You might want to sit down for this. Who do you think it is? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for part 3. You won't believe what happens next. I could hear the steady buzzing of his phone, but my mind was stuck on his words. Someone's been asking about you. That didn't make any sense. Who would be asking about me, and why would it be serious enough for my mom to call him in the middle of the night? My stepfather hesitated before silencing the phone and slipping it into his pocket. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he ran a hand through his hair, clearly debating what to say next. The silence between us stretched, heavy and thick. Just tell me, I finally said, my voice barely above a whisper. He exhaled slowly, then sat on the edge of my bed. Your mom got a call from someone she hasn't spoken to in years, someone who shouldn't have any reason to reach out now. I swallowed hard. Who? He glanced at me, his jaw tightening. Your father. A cold chill crept up my spine. My father. A name I hadn't spoken in years, a person I had tried to forget. My relationship with him had never been close. He was in and out of my life when I was younger, making promises he never kept, disappearing when things got hard. The last time I saw him, I was barely a teenager, and now, out of nowhere, he was asking about me? I shook my head. That doesn't make sense. Why now? My stepfather rubbed his palms together like he was still trying to figure it out himself. I don't know. Your mom didn't get many details. All she said was that he was looking for you, and it didn't sound like a casual check-in. A strange unease settled in my chest. If it was just a normal conversation, why did my mom sound worried? And why did my stepfather look like he was about to tell me something even worse? His phone buzzed again, this time with a text. He glanced at the screen and his expression darkened. Without saying a word, he turned it toward me. The message was short, simple, but it sent a shiver through me. Tell them the truth. They deserve to know. I looked up at my stepfather, my heart pounding. What truth? He hesitated, gripping the phone tighter. There's something your mom and I never told you about why your father really left. I felt my stomach drop. What do you mean? Before he could answer, there was a knock at the front door. Loud, insistent, and then silence. What do you think is happening? Drop your theories in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because trust me, things are about to get even crazier. The knock at the door sent a sharp jolt through my body. My stepfather and I exchanged a glance, both of us frozen for a moment. Neither of us spoke. Neither of us moved. The only sound was the faint buzzing of his phone, the unanswered text still glowing on the screen. The knock came again, louder this time. My breath caught in my throat. It was late, too late for anyone to be showing up unannounced. My mind raced with possibilities. Was it my mom? Had something happened and she came home early? Or was it him? My stepfather stood up slowly, pressing his lips together like he was mentally preparing himself. Stay here, he muttered under his breath, then turned and started toward the door. Wait, I whispered, my voice barely audible. I wasn't even sure what I wanted to say. Be careful, don't open it. Every part of me screamed that something wasn't right, but I had no proof, just a gnawing feeling in my gut that told me this night wasn't anywhere close to being over. He disappeared down the hallway, his footsteps soft but steady. I stayed rooted in place, straining my ears to hear. The front door creaked as he unlocked it. Then silence, a long, unbearable silence. I stood up, my pulse pounding. "Hello?" I called out hesitantly, stepping toward the door of my room. Nothing. Then finally, my stepfather's voice, low, cautious. "What are you doing here?" My heart thumped harder. A second voice answered, rough and unfamiliar. "I just need to talk to them." Them. That meant me. I took another step forward, careful not to make a sound. I could barely see past the dimly lit hallway, but I could make out my stepfather's rigid posture. He was blocking the doorway, keeping the visitor from stepping inside. "You need to leave," my stepfather said, his voice tight with warning. "Not until I talk to them," the man insisted. A strange feeling crept over me. That voice, it wasn't completely unfamiliar. It had been years, but something about it stirred a memory buried deep. I took another step forward, just enough to see past my stepfather's shoulder, and then my breath hitched. Standing in the doorway was a man I hadn't seen since I was a child. His face was older, more worn, but his eyes were the same. My father. Everything inside me went still. "I know this is a shock," he said, looking straight at me now, "but I didn't come here to cause trouble. I just need you to know the truth." My stepfather didn't move, but his whole body was tense, like he was bracing for something. "They don't need to hear anything from you." My father exhaled, shaking his head. "That's not your choice to make." Then his gaze flickered back to me. "It's yours." I felt the weight of both their eyes on me, waiting, expecting. My throat tightened. I had spent my whole life resenting this man, convincing myself I never needed answers from him. But now, standing here, I wasn't sure anymore. Did I want to know the truth? Or was it better left buried? What would you do in my place? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because in the next part, everything changes. The silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. My father stood in the doorway, waiting, his eyes locked onto mine. My stepfather was still blocking his way, shoulders squared, his stance unyielding. I could feel the tension between them, like something unspoken had been brewing for years, something neither of them wanted to say out loud. I swallowed hard, my voice barely steady. "What truth?" My father's expression shifted, something between regret and urgency. "It's not what you think. Everything you've been told about me. It's not the full story." I clenched my jaw. I had spent so many years convincing myself I didn't need answers from him. But now, standing here, with his presence feeling almost unreal, I wasn't so sure. "That's enough," my stepfather cut in, his voice sharp. "You don't get to come here after all these years and act like you suddenly care." My father exhaled, shaking his head. "You think I wanted to stay away? You think I had a choice?" He turned back to me. "There are things you don't know, things I wasn't allowed to tell you." My chest tightened. "Then tell me now." My stepfather tensed. "No." I turned to him, confused. "Why not?" His lips parted slightly, but no words came out. His hesitation sent a wave of unease through me. He had always been the stable one, the one who never kept secrets. So why did it feel like he was hiding something now? And then my father said something that made my blood run cold. "Because he's been lying to you too." I froze. My stepfather's jaw clenched, his fists tightening at his sides. "That's not true," he muttered. "Isn't it?" My father took a step forward, lowering his voice. "You never told them why I really left, what we agreed on." A sharp chill ran down my spine. What agreement? Neither of them spoke. My stepfather's face was unreadable, but something flickered in his eyes, something I had never seen before. Guilt. I took a step back. Someone tell me what's going on, right now. My father exhaled. I left because I had to. I was given no choice, and the person who made sure I never came back. He turned, his gaze burning into my stepfather. Was him. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. My stepfather? The man who had raised me? Who had been there when my father wasn't? I looked between them, my mind spinning. That's not true, I whispered. But even as I said it, doubt crept in. My stepfather swallowed hard, his face pale. He wasn't denying it. My breath caught. Tell me it's not true. But he didn't. Instead, the front door, still slightly open, creaked wider, and then a voice from outside, one I didn't recognize, spoke. It's time they knew everything. I whipped around. A shadowy figure stood just beyond the porch light, face hidden, and in that moment I realized this wasn't just about my father coming back. This was bigger. Who do you think the mystery person is? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because the next part is going to change everything. The figure in the doorway stepped forward, and the porch light finally illuminated their face. My breath caught in my throat. It was a woman, tall, with piercing eyes that looked strangely familiar. There was something about her presence that sent a shiver down my spine, like she had been watching this whole thing unfold from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to step in. My father's face darkened the second he saw her. You shouldn't be here. My stepfather stiffened. He looked at her like he had seen a ghost, and that's when I knew. This woman wasn't just some stranger. She was part of the truth they had been keeping from me. I forced my voice to stay steady. Who is she? The woman's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. You don't recognize me, do you? I shook my head. Should I? She exhaled, tilting her head slightly. Maybe not. But I know you. Her gaze flickered between my father and stepfather. And I know both of them. Very well. My stepfather finally spoke, his voice tight. Leave, now. The woman ignored him, turning back to me. I think you deserve to know what's really been going on, what these two have spent years trying to cover up. A cold weight settled in my stomach. Tell me then. She crossed her arms. Your father didn't just leave because he had to. He left because he was forced to. And your stepfather, he's the reason why. I turned to my stepfather, my heart pounding. Is that true? His jaw tightened. It's more complicated than that. My father scoffed. No, it's exactly that. You threatened me. You said if I didn't walk away, she would make sure I regretted it. I looked between them, my head spinning. She? The woman let out a soft chuckle. Oh, they didn't tell you about me? Figures. I was part of it all. The deal, the lies, the reason your father disappeared. She took a step closer. You see, your father owed a lot of money to the wrong people. And your stepfather? He made sure those people never let him come back. My stomach twisted. You're saying? She nodded. He paid them off. He bought your father's absence. And in return, your father had to stay away. For good. My father's hands clenched into fists. I had no choice. I turned to my stepfather, my voice barely above a whisper. Is it true? He hesitated, just for a second, and that was all the answer I needed. The weight of everything hit me all at once. The years of silence, the missing pieces, the reason my father never came back. It was all because of the man I had trusted most. I took a shaky step back. I don't even know who you are anymore. My stepfather's face fell. I did what I had to do. For you, for your mother. The woman smirked. funny how people justify betrayal. A car pulled up in front of the house, its headlights cutting through the dark. My father's expression shifted. That's them. My pulse spiked. Who? He exhaled. The people who never really forgot about me. The woman turned to me. Looks like your father's past just caught up with him. Before I could react, the car door opened. A man stepped out, his face unreadable. And then, black screen. What do you think happens next? Drop your theories in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because this story isn't over yet. The air felt heavy as the man from the car stepped onto the driveway. My father's posture stiffened, his hands curling into fists, but he didn't move. My stepfather, on the other hand, took a slow step back, his eyes darting toward the front door like he was debating whether to run. The woman beside me let out a low chuckle. Looks like the past always has a way of catching up, doesn't it? I stood frozen, my mind racing. All my life, I had believed one story, one where my father was the villain and my stepfather was the man who stepped in to fix everything. But the truth was far messier. My father hadn't abandoned me. He had been forced to leave, and my stepfather, the man I had trusted the most, had made sure he stayed gone. The man from the car finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. We need to talk. My father exhaled. I figured this day would come. The tension was unbearable. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but for the first time, I realized that no explanation would ever make this right. My father had his reasons, my stepfather had his, but neither of them had told me the truth, and now I wasn't sure who to believe. The woman turned to me, her expression surprisingly soft. Now that you know everything, what are you going to do? I opened my mouth, but no words came out. What was I going to do? I had spent my whole life thinking I knew my story, only to find out it had been rewritten behind my back. Maybe I wasn't ready to forgive either of them. Maybe I never would. But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to let their choices define me anymore. I took a deep breath and stepped back. I think I need time to figure that out. My father nodded, understanding in his eyes. My stepfather looked like he wanted to say something, but for once he stayed silent. The man from the car gestured toward my father. Let's go. There's more to settle. Without another word, my father walked toward the car. He paused only once, glancing back at me. No matter what, I never stopped caring about you. And then he was gone. The woman smirked, shaking her head. Messy family drama. Gotta love it. Then she too walked away, disappearing into the night. I stood there in the silence, my world forever changed. Maybe I'd never get the closure I wanted, but for the first time, I was in control of my own story, and that was enough. What would you have done in my place? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories. You never know what secrets are hiding just beneath the surface.